to the Branded Podcast, where I thought we'd get in one more podcast before I die. I'm here with Justin.
Hello, everybody.
And who else is here?
We're here with Mark Higgins today. Welcome, Mark.
Thank you.
Mark Higgins. And you've been coming to Crossroads Cowboy Church for how long?
For something less than 2 years.
Can we just make up the less? What's the less? How much less?
Let's say a year and 9 months. And
I'm sorry. I'm just being ornery today. I don't know what I'm doing with this podcast.
3 hours and 32 seconds.
That's very
3 hours,
specific.
32. Okay. All right. So we'll just pretend we started over. We're not going to, but tell us about who Mark is. Now, we got to interview your wife, Trish.
Right.
And she said that it was some kind of big pickle she got herself into.
Oh, my. I think they met through pickleball is what she said. Is that correct?
Right.
Yeah.
Pickleball. So you met through pickle.
We met playing pickleball.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you good?
No.
Then we should play sometime because I'm not either.
Actually, I have to switch to my left hand because my right shoulder is kind of done.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. That's
Okay. Now that we've gotten all the niceties out of the way, let's get down to it.
Okay.
You're a Christian.
I am.
When did you become a Christian?
When I was 19.
What happened when you were 19 that caused you to become a Christian?
I went out on a date with a girl that was a believer. And 2 Tuesdays later, I went back to her house, and her house was full of kids and a youth pastor. And so I got to hear who Christ was for the first time. And I went home. I still remember getting down on my knees and asking Christ into my life.
Wow.
So your folks, your family life growing up weren't believers?
No. Nobody in my family ever accepted Christ that I know of.
Now, you're from where? Where's your home?
Akron, Ohio.
Akron, Ohio.
I was born and given up to adoption. And I lived, supposedly, the story was that the nuns at a church kept me for 13 months until they, for some reason, had to give me up and my parents took me.
Okay. Now, it's really interesting because we have so many people on this podcast that were adopted.
Yeah.
I mean, your wife, she was adopted.
Yeah.
And
Thank God.
Yeah. So you didn't know your birth parents per se at all?
Nope.
Okay, so you never pursued them.
Nope. They adopted my brother before that. And then they had my sister after me.
Okay.
So they adopted 2 boys and then had a girl that was biological to them.
That's just opposite of my folks had 3 boys and decided they're not going to take another chance, and then they adopted a little girl. So
Not leaving it to chance. Right?
not leaving it to chance. All right, so you went through your childhood, your teenage years, and you're 19 years old. Were you in college at the time?
No, I was in high school. I was held back a time or two in school.
So you were what's considered a super senior?
At least.
Yes. Okay. All right. Now this is tweaking with me a little bit because I also know you're a pilot. So
Right.
your slow progress through educational things.
Very slow.
Okay.
Very slow.
All
I don't read books. Because I read like something less than 100 words a minute. Still do.
Is that because of training or because you have is it dyslexia or something?
Who I am. I have a good friend who's writes books, Christian books, and in his studies of the people in Israel.
Oh, wow.
He discovered they read from the bottom of the page across and then back. They're opposite us. And I've discovered that I can actually read faster that way with writing the words that are normal.
Wow.
So, yeah, I should have been.
You are quite the anomaly. Did your friend who wrote the book, did he put a lot of pictures in for you?
No, he figured it out. He helped me figure out that was the case.
Yeah, because in Hebrew they read from right to left, but you say they start from the bottom. That is interesting.
Bottom up. Yeah.
Yeah, I
That's
didn't
what I
know that.
understand.
Huh.
Yeah,
Learn something every day. I didn't know that. No.
Well, yeah. If you open up a Hebrew Bible, we start from the front. Genesis here.
Yeah.
Well, if their Genesis would be on the, you flip it over and start
Right.
this way.
Right.
Interesting.
Yeah. Okay.
Genesis would be on the front, on top.
So this is interesting. So at 19, you're still in high school, and you weren't at the top of your class, but you were the oldest in your class.
I was definitely the oldest.
Okay.
There was one other guy that might have been a little older than me. I'm not sure.
Did you guys?
Other than that, I knew I was.
Okay. Yeah.
So just to clear this whole thing up a little bit, my last year of high school, I went to the vocational school.
Okay. Trade
And
school.
I took not drafting, but architectural drawing.
Wow.
That's all I did for a year. And my teacher said, you need to go do this. Because for some reason I could take something out of my head and put it on paper. And yeah, it was kind of interesting.
You're pretty
I
proficient.
aced my senior year.
Discovered something you were good at, apparently.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Odd.
All right. So this girl that you met, and 2 weeks later you were at a youth group activity. Then you went home and you received Jesus. What was your family's reaction to that? I mean, did you know a difference? Was there?
My mom and dad's response was, you're in a cult and we need to put an end to this.
Really?
And I said, you'll never end it. And it was a short conversation from what I remember. I've tried to always remember that. And they just gave into it. They discovered I wasn't in a cult, number one, I think.
Okay, that helps.
Yes, that definitely helped.
But you had a good relationship with your parents. Yes? No?
Yes and no. My parents drank themselves to death, both of them. So, they were very loving, and it was different though. It wasn't your normal home.
Now, did you go and hang out again with this youth group? Did you stay connected with this new girlfriend?
I did for a little while. At least a year, better than a year, because I remember her going to college before I did.
Was she younger than you?
And no, I think I was older than her by a year.
All right.
That would make me 2 years behind. I don't know. But yeah, so then that ended. And I got a job doing drafting for a company. And one of the guys that I worked with owned his own little Cessna 172. And he took my girlfriend, a new girlfriend, took me and my girlfriend flying one night. And I said, I bet I can do this. So I went and tried the next week and discovered that I could probably do that. And that's where it started. Then I went to college. I went to Kent State, got into their aviation program, and made my way through it in 6 more years.
Okay, there you go. You got 6 years to make it through. But
All right.
give us a little bit about the journey, because
Where was your faith at during that time? During that time
Where was
frame?
my faith?
Yeah, as far
My
as
faith
how
was-
did you practice during that time?
It was good. I met a girlfriend that was my girlfriend through all of college, pretty much.
Okay.
And we went to church together. We went to a really good place that was really set up for people our age
All right.
back then. And I was very involved in it. And so we didn't end up getting married, but my faith was pretty strong. It was strong in me. I wasn't somebody that could take the Bible and open it up and just eat the whole thing. All I can do is chew on small pieces at a time.
And that's because of your reading difficulties.
Yeah. And that actually helps me, I think. I think that's a blessing.
Well, how did that, I kind of had a question on that. Getting into college, but not being a proficient reader, what was that journey like? I mean, you had some drafting experience through this thing.
So if we back up a little bit, my 9th grade math teacher was my senior math teacher, and he went to Akron University the year I left from high school.
Okay. To teach there?
Yeah. So I went to take the test to see if I could get in college, and I failed it immensely. And so he wrote, now he was on staff at that school, it's Akron University.
Okay.
And he was on staff there then. So he wrote a letter to somebody, and said, if you'll let him in, I'll get him through.
Really?
Yep. So I entered a 2-year drafting degree, and then discovered the flying. And so Kent State had a really good flying program, and they kind of had to receive me because I was the 2 state schools. And I ended up at Kent State and went through the aviation program there.
And was that with your teacher wasn't around to help you out? How did you do it in a different college?
I had friends. I'm not sure. I know I got some English papers, but I never had my writing on it.
Okay.
Oh, if only ChatGPT had been around.
Yeah.
No, I had a really good friend. My girlfriend's best friend was, she was in the news part of education, and so she would sit down and make me do as much as I could possibly do.
Okay.
And then she would finish it off. That's the only way I got through English
All right.
in college.
Yeah. Well, you talk pretty good though, so I think you're doing fine.
Yep.
All right. So, drafting or pilot, which one won?
Oh, pilot.
You became a commercial airline pilot, is that correct?
No. I when I was done with college, I had all the basic ratings that you can get,
Okay.
just like anybody else at Kent State. And I, through my girlfriend, met a guy that was a pilot for a company called Dad's Dog Food in Pennsylvania.
A pilot for Dad's Dog Food.
And they had bought a Falcon 20, which back then was a very formidable airplane. And this guy was a retired full colonel from the Air Force. Wow. And he had flown 3 tours in Vietnam in F-4s. So I got in touch with him and stayed in touch with him. And he said, you need to stay in touch with me because he thinks the other guy that was flying with him was going to go off to the airlines, which he ended up doing. He called me on a Wednesday and said, can you be here tomorrow morning to go to Marco Island? And I'm like, yeah.
And you said, yes, sir.
And so I was co-pilot.
Just for geography, where is Marcus Island?
Marco Island.
Marco Island.
It's in Florida.
Is it right? Is it off by Polo?
I don't know where Polo is.
Marco Polo. You got to get his word puns.
What?
Wah, wah.
Thank you. I wish I could have done that.
Okay, so it's off the Florida coast, and that's where this fellow was. Where was he headquartered? Where was the
It
business?
was Meadville, Pennsylvania. Little towns straight south of Erie, Pennsylvania, right in the middle of 120 inches of snow. Yeah, it was quite the place.
And you get to go on this flight with him down to Florida.
Yeah, so let me tell you about that.
Go ahead, tell this story.
So I'm sitting in the right seat as co-pilot. He's flying the airplane. I know nothing. Zero.
You know the basics of flying an airplane.
I could go like this, but that was it. And so when we got to Marco Island, we did some flying after the passengers were gone.
Okay.
Yeah, I was curious how the job interview goes for a pilot.
He said, there's only one thing I need to know is you got the hands to fly an airplane. So he said I did, and I stayed and did that. So at Marco Island, we're in the Marriott right on the ocean, and I'm swimming around in the ocean, and I'm thinking, I could do this for a living.
Yeah.
And so
Justin couldn't, but he
No.
would watch you. He would watch you. He would watch you swimming around.
So he put it to me, he said, so you can go on to the airlines. You can fly with me a couple of years. The airlines are going to accept you for sure. Or you can, live in nice hotels and go really nice places because wealthy people go nice places. And you can stay with me and I'll teach you everything you could ever. Oh, I know the other thing.
Okay.
I also was looking in to go to the Air Force.
Oh.
And I told him that. He said, you could probably make it through the Air Force, but you can do that, or you can do this, fly top airplanes the rest of your life, and live in 5-star hotels the rest of your life. What do you want to do? Airlines or that?
Tough
I
decision.
said,
Yeah.
I think I'll do this.
You set this up very nicely. What was it called again? That Dad's dog food. But it was a customer-based shuttle service for people. Is a private airline. What did they do?
They bought the airplane. They bought an airplane as a corporation, as a corporate pilot. Corporations buy corporate airplanes.
Okay.
To fly around the world.
All right.
Just for whatever business they have around the
Whatever
world, or
business
leisure.
They have.
Yeah.
Oh, so this pilot worked for Dad's dog food too.
He works for Dad's
and
dog
he
food
was
also.
training you to be his co-pilot.
Yes.
Now, did you have to wear a uniform when you flew the first time?
No.
Okay.
No. Never wore a uniform.
Oh, you didn't?
No. We would dress nice, back in the 80s, 90s.
Mm-hmm.
You dressed pretty nice, but you would wear a tie.
A collar with your mullet hanging over the back
Yeah,
of it?
right. That'd
Okay.
be nice.
Not everybody
Yeah.
dresses like you, Tristan.
Oh.
It's okay.
But yeah, that's what we did. And so corporate aviation is very different than the airliners. I finished with 15,000 hours, and normally airline guys almost double that.
Okay.
And they double the salary at the same time.
Right.
But they didn't have the fun I did.
Well,
Because
just the
I
travel,
could go into any airport that was 3,800 feet or longer. So that opens up, an airline guy, he flies, if he's flying for one company, he's going to go to 40 airports in his life.
Yeah, the biggest ones. Yeah.
And I could go to 9,000 in the United States.
So I imagine there's...
So it was really a lot of fun to
and
do.
you'd probably end up at airports you hadn't been to before.
All the time.
All the time.
A lot, depending on what they were doing.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, so that was your main career as you're a pilot and stuff. And how long was your piloting career?
40 years.
40 years.
40 years.
And then you retired.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, in that journey, I know that you had done a chaplaincy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Tell us about that, how that connected there. Was that after piloting or was that during piloting?
During.
Tell us about that.
Okay, so I was in Columbus, Ohio, big company, Cardinal Health. Chairman was just building the company. And so we bought one airplane. And that's when I showed up there. And then we bought another airplane. We went to 7 airplanes in about 7 years. It's 7 airplanes and 22, 23 pilots.
Okay.
And we were flying, never went to the Orient, but every place else in the world.
Okay.
They do business. They do business that way. They need to go see someone. They're trying to get, Cardinal Health's trying to get their things that they're selling off in medical care. They're trying to get it Sweden to buy off on their equipment.
Right.
And that kind of thing. So we would go to Sweden. And so I've been in every country except Greece in Europe.
That's because you didn't want to slide off the runway?
Oh, there's those puns again.
What?
Turned out that way.
Yeah, okay. So tell us, when did the chaplaincy come into that?
Okay. So Cardinal Health decided, Bob Walter got rid of he sold out. He took his money and left.
And he was a CEO?
He was the owner of the company
Okay.
and CFO, CEO. And so I lost track.
You were telling us about the chaplaincy, and you were telling
Okay.
about how he sold
Sorry.
out his company. That's
Sorry.
all right.
Yeah. So I took a buyout from the company and bought a house outside of Columbus, Ohio, and lived there by myself for a while.
And how old were you
Good
at this
while.
time?
40. I was just coming up on 50 when I left. 50 years old.
Okay. And you hadn't been married?
And yeah, I had been married.
Oh, you had been married
twice already.
Oh, I think we skipped over part of the story here.
Had
Okay.
two daughters from one, and then another daughter
Okay.
from another. Awesome. I love my daughters to death.
Do you think...
They know the Lord.
Now, I'm not going to ask for many details at all, but do you think the fact that you were gone so much, flying different places, had anything to do with those marriages not succeeding?
That can be a little challenging because the corporate aviation is different than airlines. Airline guys go out for 3 or 4 days and they come home for 3 or 4 days constantly. And I could end up being gone for 2 weeks.
Ever how long the trip is, yeah.
Whatever. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's hard to do. That's
Yeah.
hard for anybody to do.
And were you also, again, just trying to find out a little bit, were you, would you consider yourself a disciple who lived out his faith in those years as a pilot? Or do you see it differently now?
Mm-hmm. So I accepted Christ at 19 and walked with him all through college up to about 26, and I walked away from him
Okay.
until I was 50.
So those are the
So
dark years then.
When I bought that house at 50 years old, and I moved out in the country by myself, it was 30 miles from where my daughters were, so I could get to them for
Yes.
sure.
Yeah.
But God totally changed my life in that house. It started out, the first day I moved in, we had storms coming in Ohio. This is north of Columbus. And I look out the window and there's a tornado coming my way.
Really?
I could see it in the woods. And then there was a big corn patch.
Right.
You
And
see
then
the
me.
debris. Yeah. Oh.
So I watched it come through, and I stood on my front porch and watched it come through and into the corn and up and over my house.
And you just stood there and watched it.
And I stood there and watched
You
it.
forgot all of your survival training. You just stood there and watched this thing.
I
huh?
didn't need any. That
Okay,
was-
tell us why you just stood
Yeah,
there.
what
So
kind of
I-
peace did God give you to see you just stood there?
I think that's something that God just did that day to say this is the beginning of who Mark is going to become. I really do. I totally believe that. A couple days later, I went out and I looked at that post. It wasn't even attached to the ceiling. So I was hanging on to nothing. And I didn't realize it because I just bought the house.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, if the Lord had intervened and gave you that sign of a tornado, it reminds me of Elijah when he was taken up into heaven. It
Yeah.
said a whirlwind came down and separated him from him and Elijah, and he was taken up in the whirlwind.
Yeah.
So
God put me on that porch.
yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. So I'm going to speed up, but you cut me off when you need to.
Okay.
So I have a recliner that I still have that I used in that house. It became, it was getting colder and colder in Ohio then. And So I would get up in the morning, build a fire in the fireplace, get my coffee, sit down in my chair, and God totally changed my life for months. So I didn't have to take any flights. I did go up to Smuckers. Everybody knows Smuckers?
Yeah.
I did a little flying with them, but I spent the majority of my time in that chair. And God totally shared amazing things to me. One of the first things he shared with me was I was in a room about twice this size, and it was windows all the way around it. And I thought, that's interesting. And when I would sit down in the chair, I would just say, Lord, I'm here. And one day he opened a door on the other end of this room I found myself in spiritually.
Mm-hmm.
And he would come in and share things with me as I looked at the Word. And it was amazing. It's totally amazing. And one day, and things kept happening, one day I noticed all my furniture was outside. And I'm like, why is my furniture all outside?
Now clarify that this is a vision
I've
you
got
have?
This is a vision, yes.
Okay, a vision you have.
Okay.
It's a familiar vision you have of this room, and now all your furniture's outside.
That's correct.
Okay.
And he's with me.
All right.
And so, not all my furniture. I did it backwards. One day, I noticed all my furniture in the room, but one piece outside. Then another piece out, another day, until it was totally empty. What he was doing was he was saying to me, everything that you used to be is going away. We're getting rid of it.
Okay.
That's what he was doing.
Heavenly garage sale.
Yeah. So the day the room was emptied, he came in the door just like he did every day and said, follow me. And so he walks over this side of me and I stand up and there's a staircase behind me. And I'm like, where'd that come from? He goes down the stairs and expects me to come downstairs.
Okay.
And downstairs is a room twice this size, same size as up above. And he sits down on one end and it lights up behind him. And there's a wall, there's a ledge all the way down this side with a red pillow. And that's where we sat for a long time. Day after day. And just soaking him up and who he is. And I read the Bible, but I don't read it like most people because I don't read.
Well, I had a question on that because it sounds like a quiet time and people get into the Word, but for you actually phrased it, I looked at the Word. I looked at the Word.
I looked at the Word.
But he still spoke to you even if you weren't proficient at reading it.
God's audiobooks.
So the light that came on behind him, who was that? That was someone.
Do you have someone specific in mind?
Someone even more important than Jesus, if that's possible. God. It was the light of God in my room.
I've got so many questions.
I can go on.
No,
it was crazy. It was crazy good. It was amazing. I got the couple times I went and flew and that kind of thing, and I'm away from the house. I'm like, I got to get home to my chair. I want to get home to my chair.
So I mean, I'm getting that your chair and your living room, this home became like a big prayer closet. And when you get in that prayer closet, you can just join him wherever that is and be in his presence, that's amazing. But this is the most graphic, just awesome visualization of that I've ever heard.
So for a long time, I got to lay my head on my red pillow and listen. And one day, I got to get up. Months later, more than a year, I got to get up and sit next to him. So I sat next to him for a long time. And I would occasionally go back to the pillow. And all this is mixed in with God's word and what he's saying to me along with the word. And another day, and then I'll cut it off, okay?
Oh, no. Don't worry about that.
So one day I reached over. He was sitting on his throne, and I was sitting on the floor next to him, and I wrapped my arms around his legs and put my head on his side right here.
Yeah. Wow.
And that's where I live.
So you've described that
Chaplain.
progression of intimacy with the Lord, that the knowledge of belief had reached your heart,
No.
and then that's the catalyst. That's the foundation for pursuing a chaplain's. I can't even say that word.
Chaplain?
Being a chaplain. There we
Yeah.
go. Do it
Yep.
easy way.
Yeah, there's not another way to say it, I don't think. But so I went to another company that I went to fly for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I flew Learjets and airplanes called Falcons. The Falcons are way much better than the Learjets.
Okay.
The Learjet's a lot cheaper. So I was typed in a couple of the Learjets too. And so a company called Jegs, J-E-G.
Auto parts.
Auto parts. Were from Columbus, and they needed a hand, so I flew co-pilot for them a few trips. Discovered that most of the family are believers.
Okay.
Yeah. So one day, we flew them to a small track in Michigan, small round track.
Just racetrack.
Stock car.
Yeah.
And so I'll have to tell this story too. So I decided I'd run up the hill to where the bleachers, they give the teams bleachers so they can go up themselves and be by them,
Yeah, the
together.
group. Yeah.
So there was nobody up there. I ran up there to sit up there to watch for, starts with a C, I forget his name. The guy that we had flown in there, the son that we had flown in there. And so while I was up there, sometimes you're just sitting somewhere or standing somewhere and you feel like somebody's looking at you from the back. I turned around, and about 60 yards away, maybe a little less, was a girl sitting on, the big fancy haulers that they haul their cars and all their
car
tools
haulers.
and stuff.
Car hauler.
She was
okay.
sitting
Yeah.
on the corner of that.
Yeah.
And she was filthy dirty. She's wearing white clothes, white shorts and top, and her hair was a total mess. And she was staring at me. So I just stared at her. And I don't remember for how long, but it was a little while. It was long enough I missed Cody. That was his name.
Going around.
I missed him on doing his thing. And so I turned back around to see that he was done. And I'm like, oh, phooey. I turned back around, she's gone.
Wow.
Where'd she go? It's a small track and it's during the day. There's no fans there. It's not a big place. So I went back down to the hauler that Jegs on.
Mm-hmm.
And it came around the corner, and sitting on the picnic table were two guys, and they had yellow shirts on with big black letters that said Chaplain on the back of them.
Wow. So you
can't.
So do you think was this possibly God has sent a little filthy angel?
Yeah.
That doesn't
Yeah.
sound good at all.
No,
but
she wasn't little.
Okay. but to provoke you to go down there and
Yeah.
find out about the chaplains.
Yeah. So I go down there, and it's David and Larry, and became very close friends with them.
Fast friends, huh?
So, yeah. So I became a chaplain. David said, go find her. And he knew I would never find her. Because I told them the story first. Never found her. And so I wasn't working. I was working part-time. I didn't have to work full-time. And so I was doing chaplain work with them. We went to Indianapolis 2 years, got to do chaplain work there. And in several of the round treks. And I got to the point where I would go and I would be the chaplain, the only person there for the night. And you do the invocation and all that, and you have to go through each of the cars and ask them if they want prayer before the race, just before the race.
Yeah.
And then I got to do the. They ran out. They didn't have somebody to do the. What's the lead car guy?
Pace car.
Pace car.
Yeah.
So I got to be the pace car driver. So I would start at the back of the track, and pray for each one of them, and then I'd jump in the nice
car
Camaro,
and get them started.
Nice Camaro.
Yeah.
They had.
Just a bit of trivia on that. I happen to know something. In the seniors race circuit, they're not called a pace car. They're called a pacemaker.
Oh, Tristan. So what I find, and I'm sure like everybody else does, amusing is how God uses women or women's image to get a guy. How do I get this guy where I need him to be? How do I get him down here to meet these chaplains where I want him to be?
Right.
How do I get him to a college Bible study?
Yeah. That's part of your testimony.
I know somebody else said that. So that's really amazing, though. I've got so many questions, though. Still, going back to your house. So you had this, experience with a tornado, and you knew that God was telling you something. Mm-hmm. And how quickly? I mean, did you start praying that night, the next morning? How quickly did you start being able to enter into that private prayer time with Jesus, and then with even seeing the light of God?
I don't know how much of a lag there was between that event and me sitting down in my chair with the fire and the fireplace, my coffee. Something tells me, I know I bought the house in the winter, so it was pretty quick, because I bought the house without going and seeing it. I went to see it, but I didn't realize that from the street to the house was total snow. But there was a big, there was a ton of snow sitting in my front yard that I didn't know about.
Wow.
I thought it was straight. But,
so
it was pretty quick to answer your question.
Okay, I got you. Yeah.
Yeah. So bringing it to present day, and I know we've talked a little bit about the chaplaincy, that you were hoping that when you moved here,
we're pretty close to Bristol.
You would be able to do the Bristol. Now, tell us a little bit about what happened there.
Well, so David, the guy that I worked with all the time, all the years, moved to Michigan, and I think his health has kept him back for a long time now that he's just been able to do that. He took a pastor job up there, and I know he did that for a good while. But so anyway, what did you just ask me?
Bristol. I mean, you approached him with
So when Trish and I got married, I wanted to move. I thought Arkansas would be a great place. We came up here. She thought it was a great place. I said, Bristol's right there. They have one of the best chaplain groups in the country. Yeah. And I didn't call David or anything. Dumb idea. I should have called David. But actually, I'm here because of this, because that chaplain group disappeared the year I was looking to come up here. And I didn't know that. I didn't know that. So I don't know what they're doing today, if they're doing anything at all. But yeah, one of the reasons I came here was, number one, I can get back to Ohio in 6 hours, which is where one of my daughters is. Mm-hmm. And the other daughter is south of Youngstown. So they're not too far away. Worked out. We had to fly to Trish's family in California, regardless of what we did.
Yeah. Okay, so the chaplaincy is not a going thing at the moment, right. But is that something you'd still like to pursue?
Oh, sure. Especially if I can do it in racing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I have a sports car that I'm going to start tracking. I've already tracked it once, and got some work to do to it. So I'll start tracking that car, and as I do that, I'll talk to people about, letting me be the chaplain for the weekend
Nice.
and pray
nice.
for everybody each day in the morning.
So is this like a Corvette or like an old dirt track car? What kind of car
No,
you got?
it's a sports car.
Okay.
Okay, so
Okay.
there's a little bit of a pattern here. This going from jets to really
there's a
fast cars.
speed thing involved.
You might a little bit of an adrenaline junkie.
Yeah, big time. I don't feel adrenaline. That's one of the interesting parts of it. People get
explain
tense.
that.
The faster you go, the more tense you get.
Right.
As a matter of fact, I just had somebody. Maybe I shouldn't say that. I just had somebody that you might know that wanted to go for a ride today, so we took for a little quick.
Okay.
This is one of those 90 mile an hour curvy back road kind of rides.
No, I wouldn't do that.
Okay.
But yeah, so
Allegedly. That's what allegedly.
But yeah, so I would love to get back into that, but I'm enjoying now. This is new for Trish and I too, and we're doing really well, and that's really important to me. And we really enjoy being here immensely. Love the people, learning to love everyone here, and so it's a good place to be.
Y'all have kind of been the starting element to the care team here at the church, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's what we're doing now.
Awesome. Well,
Yeah.
I appreciate y'all helping and doing things
well,
you do.
I like doing that. Going to the hospital and visit people and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I got to do a bunch of that too. Had a good friend and I started in Cleveland, chaplain kind of thing. The church we were going to was almost 3,000 people, so they always had men in the hospital.
Yeah.
So we did a lot of that
Yeah, I got you.
then too.
So now I want you to kind of encapsulate what the Lord is doing with you right now, and maybe put it into a form that you could pass on for those that are watching that maybe they relate to you, they relate to what you're going through, whether you struggle with reading or the need for speed, whatever it is. What word would you give them in encouragement, about a relationship with Jesus?
How would I encourage them with having a relationship with Jesus Christ? It's something you do. It's not something you do. It's something you allow. Allow Christ to speak to you.
Because he's more than willing and available.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
I like that. It's just allow him to do his work in you.
And the more you allow him, the more you see.
Agreed.
Well, I want to thank you for coming in and sharing your testimony. I know there's so much, and we'll probably end up talking about planes and cars because that's a fun thing. There's a guy thing to talk about.
And my car that I have is a Lotus built in England.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not their fastest.
We'll talk later.
It's not their fastest one though.
Oh,
okay.
It's just okay.
Yeah,
I just feel so inadequate now, but that's all right. So
I like tinkering with them too, and you definitely have to tinker with Lotus.
Yeah.
They're not something that you just run to death and put it away in a garage and expect it to happen to the next time.
Oh, it's a high maintenance vehicle.
It is.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
Very well put.
All right. Well, anyway, we do thank you for coming in, and we would encourage those that are watching to just share in the comments. And this is Justin's part, so I'm going to turn it over to him.
Okay.
Close it out.
Hey, I challenge y'all to go out and talk to somebody about Jesus this week, whether it's in an airplane, a race car, whatever it is. Go tell somebody about Jesus. And be sure to like, share, subscribe these videos. Go back and look at our previous videos. Leave a comment down below. I know I've still got questions. If you've still got questions, put them in the comments below. We'll see what we can find out.
Oh, yeah. And one other thing on that is if you go out and share Jesus, leave that in the comment. We want to hear that too. We want to hear about that too.
Yeah. Awesome. As always, thank you all for watching.
We want to thank you for being here. And also, Mark, thanks for being here.
Thanks for joining us.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.